Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Landedkiller show. Today we'll be going over the dev blog that just went up, and of course, I'll be giving my thoughts on tier 11, which this essentially is. So we're gonna break this down. So they talk about the future of super ships in the game. Sub Octavian and some other guys show up in it. They're basically saying they're talking about how shipbuilding could have evolved. The decision had been made to continue building artillery ships, which didn't continue because of the rise of aircraft carriers, specifically supercarriers. Carriers effectively obsoleted battleships in most roles except artillery fire support. And that is what Wargaming is ignoring here. They talk about how we're able to try out Satsuma and Hanover. They talk about how they've been getting questions on super ships when they're going to show up. And I think this is not a majority of players. I think this is a minority of players that want this. I don't really think that a lot of people actually want this in the game. I feel like people are kind of getting tired of all these ships being thrown into battles into ranked anyway. You know, submarine testing ranked. That's what I'm referring to. That people are getting tired of. They're saying that there's going to be a new season of ranked battles that's going to focus on the Tier X and the super ships. They say it's going to take place without submarines. Standard class restrictions. This is classic wargaming. They introduce two things at once to distract us from focusing on the pertinent issues, which I seem to find over a lot of players. I would say there's a good number of players that don't want submarines in random battles mode. So this is how they distract us from that, by piling on super ships as well. And it's really, really annoying. You know, I can just see a lot of you guys just uninstalling because of this. I wouldn't blame you if you did. So they're saying there's new super ships here besides the 7 versus 7 format, which is standard ranked. They're going to have 4 more super ships because this is their plan. They're going to replace the tier 10s with these. You're still going to have your tier 10s. Don't worry about that. It's just that now they're going to have more ships to battle against now. They're giving you more of a challenge now, which nobody asked for. So they're essentially going to wreck the economy, right? Because you're going to have to sit there and battle against these guys. You're no longer going to be top tier. They're going to say, they're pulling the rug out from under our feet and they're saying, whoopsie daisy. Rug out from underneath your feet, and they're having this nonsense into the game. So the first one is Yamagiri. Super Destroyer will have unique mechanic to switch between 2 torpedo types in battle, which differ by parameters such as range, speed, and damage. We didn't need a super ship to be able to switch torpedo types in battle. You could have just implemented that. Like giving people the option to switch between Sims short range torps or Sims long range torps. Instead, they're using this to do that, which is really ridiculous. And now we're going to have autoloaders, which didn't exist. Only Des Moines. Only Des Moines had that. No other ships had that. So they're going to arcadeify the game even more. I already have enough arcadey elements, and now they want to add in more. I'm telling you, World of Warships players, if you guys don't start getting up in arms about this, you guys don't start speaking out about this is going to come. We let wargaming off the hook way too early, as we can tell here. So, you know how people don't like autoloaders in World of Tanks? World of Warships devs thought, good idea, let's bring it to World of Warships to annoy more players. It seems to be the case. After you press a key, a player can switch to special firing mode, which you can fire in rapid succession before a long reload. So, if you're in a Des Moines and you face this Annapolis, for instance, you're going to be decimated once he turns this on, and your auto reloading guns are essentially useless against Annapolis because they decide that you're going to have a nerf now because this is going to become the new top dog, and Des Moines is no longer going to be the top dog, to put it plainly. And you got this super cruiser Conde American cruiser Annapolis, Soviet super destroyer Zorky. Hanover and Satsuma will have updated adjustment fire mechanic. Honestly, if you ask me, these ships could have fit in at tier 10 without all this special nonsense attached to them, but the caveat to that would be a longer reload, which they obviously thought wouldn't fly by us. Because they tried that with Vermont. With the 457 millimeters, they saw that people didn't like that, so that's why they're further encouraged to do this tier 11. They say that gameplay development focused on horizontal progression, adding new mechanics, branches or ships with unique abilities. This framework, which was conceived many years ago, can only accommodate so many new concepts. The framework works. There was no need to mess with it. No need. Along with super ships, we aim to add special mechanics to give game experience unusual. Oh, so more arcade mechanics that nobody asked for. That's one of the things that people complain about wargaming. It's not something people asked for. You already got, what is it, main battery reload booster, torpedo reload booster, smoke screens which conceal destroyers and cruisers and battleships from sight. Isn't that enough? What else am I forgetting here? Oh, nope, airstrikes exist in real life, so that doesn't count. New mechanics are aimed at diversifying decision making during combat and game tactics. So they want it to be a slugfest where we're camping out the whole time and nobody pushes. Super ships mechanics, given interest in them, I think it's a minority of players. May well become a full-fledged part of the game. Okay, I'm going to say this again. If you're listening, we have to say no to this stuff. We have to say wargaming. We welcome these ships, but we want them in their own mode. We don't want tier 10 messed with. We don't want this. Stick them, do temporary modes throughout the year where the ships show up and then disappear. Like Halloween ships. You can tell I'm not in favor of this, but I'm keeping my cool for you guys. Want to introduce something for all existing ships by continuation in them in form of super ships. In other words, you want to make more money off of people by getting them to spend money on the credit packages in the premium shop because you know that they're going to get impatient and not want to grind the credits. Because you put the high cost of it around 1.5 to 2.5 the cost of buying a Tier X ship. So Tier X ships typically cost around 20 million credits, right? So we times that by 1.5, and we're looking at 30 million credits to 50 million credits. So looking at 30 million credits to 50 million credits. So imagine they put it at 50 million credits. What do you think people are going to do? Wallet warriors are going to be hand over fist buying the credit packages out of the premium shop just to get the new tier 11 ship. They can call it super ships all they want. They just do that because they don't want to say the real word. Tier 11. Tier 11. Given that very super ships is development of already familiar ships, we think it'd be best to place them in tech tree. I think that this is a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea because you're going to wreck the economy and you're going to cause more people to just straight up leave the game because they're going to be like, I put in so much time to get this Yamato, and now it's going to be outdone by Satsuma. Or they're going to say, I spent all this time researching Tashkent and getting to the new tier 10, whatever it's called, and they're going to be like, I don't want to have to go grind more credits just to get a tier 11 just because you think I want it. Or another example, like they're going to get rid of GK, right? And they're going to put in Prusen. They're going to be, and people are going to be like, I spent all this time grinding to get Prusen again, and now you want me to grind more just to get this new super ship, Hanover. I think that these ships would be better served in a temporary battle mode type that occurs once or twice a year. If it were me and I was developing this, I would think logically, my player base, My player base likes ships like these, but I don't want to wreck the economy in my game because the players like the economy of the game, so I'm not going to put them into the tech tree. The developers don't think like that. They think with spreadsheets. They think they need more money. And that's why they're sticking these in the game. I had thoughts about this months ago. Early in September I did, and I said that this was probably going to happen. Super ships do not fit in the tier X. Super ships don't belong in the game. They don't. If you want it to be, you can't claim that it's a historically accurate simulator anymore with this. Granted, a lot of ships aren't historically accurate in the game, but you start putting in fantasy ships, you think veterans are going to want that? Really? If you're like a veteran, you're going to want to play on the ship you actually served on. You're not going to want fantasy nonsense. We're not an anime, are we? Is this World of Warships Anime Central? Might as well sit there and change the name to World of Warships Anime Ships at this point. Nothing against anime, I'm just saying with us getting into more ships here that didn't actually get built in steel, that's what it feels like. It feels like an anime to me. And I do like animes. I like the Arpeggio, Blue Steel, and High School Fleet. I have watched them. Nothing against animes. I'm just saying the game feels like an anime right now because of these changes. Because they're all coming in rapid succession. Right now, Tier 10 is popular among players and is popular only grow. Therefore, we want to give players more variety and various new mechanics. I think they're upset because not a lot of people are wanting to do Research Bureau. That's my gleaning from this because they didn't get their way with the original intent of the Naval Training Center. Now it's the Research Bureau. I'm just going to say I think the costs are high to do Research Bureau compared to Free XP. And if I had to make recommendations on Research Bureau, for me personally, it's going to be a once a year thing. It's not going to be where I'm going back and forth just to regrind a ton of ships. I don't enjoy it. And I only did it once, and that was to get Siegfried, which the video will be up later this week. You only need one research point to research tier 11 ship, but your credit cost is going to be 30 million to 50 million credits, which I see people running and grabbing the credit packages out of the premium shop for this because they're not going to want to grind the credits. Only the most dedicated scrub lords will want to grind the credits, I think. The expansion of tech tree is big and important for the game. We do not plan to immediately add super ships for all nations and in randoms. Instead, we'll start with ranked battles and decide on further steps as we go along. So they're just making this up as they go along. So if you guys want to sit there and put these in a separate mode, now is the time to say that. I am fully supportive of a temporary mode once or twice a year called Grand Battles, which already exists. I'm in favor of bringing that back and having ships where we can have fun with once or twice a year. I'm not in favor of wrecking the entire game economy just because Wargaming wants to create more credit sinks. They even tell you that the costs on these ships are going to be higher to maintain. And to ensure that Tier X have an economic advantage over them. Therefore, super ships will have a high maintenance cost, about twice as high as that of Tier X. In other words, let's fool Bobby Joe into going for a Tier 11, which we didn't really need in the game, just so he wastes more credits, just so players don't have massive credit sinks. I mean, come on. Why do you care if people have large credit sinks wargaming? It doesn't matter. You still have to sit there and grind some free XP. Even if you are going to convert XP, you still takes time to grind free XP. Some players actually will still grind normal experience points to get to the higher tiers. You just don't want people sitting there and going up the tiers fast and being like, I'm done. I'm going to come on occasionally and I'm done. Because that's how these games work. They don't want you to say, I'm done. They want you to keep going on and on and on and on and on. They want to sit there and make you sink all your time into them. That's always your choice. So They are still deciding on this. They'll share final combat mechanics as they're available. So let's pull this up.
Hello there.
Sorry, sub. I'm not interested in what you have to say right now. I already watched you earlier. So we're going to try to get in on this. We got some ships here. A little super destroyer for the Japanese. It has 18 torpedoes, by the way. I'm going to let you guys watch the video and make your own decisions on this, but for me, I'm not okay with these changes, and if we start getting missile ships, I'm going to be honest with you all, that's probably going to be the time when I move on and I feature other content on the channel. Because I don't want missile ships in the game. If they come in the game, I think I'm going to be done. Because they're getting really close to it. But honestly, after this announcement today, that's the next thing I think that could be even more ridiculous besides this. Besides, I don't know. This is really the craziest World of Warships has ever gotten right now in a long time. So to distract us from subs entering into randoms now they're going to put these super ships in. You guys have a choice. You have a choice to speak your mind up and say you don't want this and you just prefer grand battles and that you don't want tier 11, or you can choose to remain silent and Wargaming will push on ahead with this. It's your choice. So I'll leave it up to you. This guy right here, he makes big money off you all the time. He only comes out when things are in crisis. He used to be a producer. He used to be talking to the players. He used to do World of Warships Reddit Q&As. He's profiting off of it. And so is Victor Cressley. So you make your own mind up. As for me, I'll try to cover things as they happen. So far, there hasn't been any other dev blogs today. And like I said, and like I'm going to say in my Prusen video, this is a logical step towards Hanover. And I was right. I was right on that. Pretty obvious. And then they're doing the same thing here. This has a super destroyer too. So inadvertently, we kind of know what's going to come next, right? So if they're going to replace future ships, it could be, we already got the Soviet confirmed. They could be doing the same to American cruisers or to the French. So if they decide to replace the French or the American cruisers next, their tier 10s respectively, there's a precedent for it with them doing for the Soviet destroyers and the German battleships. So don't be surprised if they go after even the tier 10 Shimakaze. They could say, oh, Shimakaze is not a logical progression. We're going to put a different ship in there. So this is all subject to change. But as of now, they're going to introduce more arcade mechanics to test these ships out. And I think it's going to be really, I think the Wallet Warriors are going to just buy the credit packages out of the premium shop. And then maybe some people will grind out the credits. So rest in peace, World of Warships. If this game sinks because of this, you know why. They keep doing more ridiculous changes. Please remember to like, watch, and subscribe to the channel for future World of Warships and Temple Run 2 content. Throw out some good game suggestions as well if you would like me to cover them. Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.